think I'm loud and clear. Let me check. Okay, cool. So guys, today we are gonna build a web application using all these technologies, like all these services. So this is gonna be architecture that we are gonna build, and this client is gonna be replaced by our S3 bucket. So basically we will create an S3 bucket and we'll deploy one simple HTML file where we send request from that website. So I think this much is clear. Like we need to create a API gateway, we need to create a Lambda function, Dynamo DB, and we need to attach a IAM role to access Dynamo DB and all these services. So we'll see it in action. So basically this is going to be a web application, a simple CRUD web application where you can add an employee and where you can get all the employees that are registered. So let's start now. Let me go to the AWS management console. Let me open this. Okay, so I think I opened EC2. So let me first we will create where is this? Okay, so first we'll create an AWS Lambda function, or yeah, I think DynamoDB is quite simple. So we'll create a DynamoDB table and then we'll get back to Lambda and all that. So let me go to DynamoDB. Let me click DynamoDB. Okay, so okay, click on create table and give a name. Since I have done this already, so let me give employee table, and partition key is like a primary key, and so sort key is optional. You can give or you might not. So it doesn't add any value over here, so I'm leaving it. So only three things: you need to give a table name and just a partition key which acts as a primary key, right? So everything is default. So yeah, okay, so I'm clicking on create table. So the table will be created in like 15 to 20 seconds. So let me duplicate this tab, and then again let me get back to this architecture. So we need a Lambda function. So but before creating a Lambda function, let me go to API gateway and create some routes, and I think then it will be easy if we come on to Lambda and we define some code over there. So let's get back to like API gateway. First let's create an API gateway and then we'll move back to Lambda function. So let me go to API gateway, click on API gateway. Okay, so let me choose REST API, and my API name will be anything like employee CRUD API. Okay, employee CRUD API, cool. And description is optional and everything is as it is. So click on create API. Okay, cool. Now API is created. Okay, so first let me create a resource. So this would be employees. Okay, this would be employees, and click on this course. We'll see like what is the error that we get even if we don't click on this course. For now I am clicking on course. Even though if you make here course enabled, it will not take the request. It will again, we have to do a course proxy when we are accessing through our client. So even if you do this course, it will not be enabled because our API gateway should be course enabled. Let me show it. So when you click on create resource, make sure you click on course. See, if you see here like this thing, so this thing has to be done as course enabled. Sorry, this thing has to be done as enable course. Obviously when you do this as enable course, all the things under this might not become course enabled. So we are making sure that we are making every method to be course enabled, right? So that is something which we need to take care. So after creating /employees, this is like a URL, right? So base URL, and you will get /employees, and now whatever you want to do, you will do here, right? Suppose let's say I'll create another resource. So I'll say create resource. So this will be add emp. Okay, so I'm making sure that course is enabled and add emp. So now, like, when you, now we have come to add emp, and now what, like, which is a method that you want to create, like when you click on this or when you invoke this URL. So let me go to this and let me create method. See, this is the URL, so you need to check the path. So this is the path, and click on create method, and what will be the method for add? It will be obviously post, right? So, oh shit, oh, I think we need to integrate a lambda function before we create. So yeah, so no problem, we'll just duplicate this tab, and we will go to lambda. Okay, so we'll click on create function. We will give this function as serverless crud employee. Okay, serverless crud. I will go with node 16, and everything is by default, but here you need to do something. You need to change the default execution role. You can you have to create a new role. So for that, let me go to IAM console. So for AWS service, choose a service. It should be Lambda, because we are going to create, we are going to attach this to the AWS Lambda. So we'll click on next. Here we'll give AWS Lambda basic execution role. We have many things. So is this thing, why there are many different things? Yeah, this is the thing that we need to give, AWS Lambda basic execution role, right? So this is the thing, and we need to give Dynamo DB full access, because we are gonna fetch, we are gonna post data to Dynamo DB, and we are gonna read it from there. So AWS full access. Okay, full access should be given. And one more thing, CloudWatch logs. Let me check if it is there. CloudWatch log kind of thing. Okay, API gateway. Yeah, this one, AWS CloudWatch logs full access. This also has to be given, because this is not like compulsory, but when you give this, you will be able to see the logs over there. So even if something goes wrong, you will be able to rectify the errors. So click on next, and this is like a review page. So we'll give a serverless API role emp. Okay, so this is like some description and create role. And let me go to my API gateway. Now Lambda proxy integration, you need to enable this. So because you will get the event object when you click on Lambda proxy integration, we will see like what is that event object and all that, why it makes our life easier. We'll also see that, but make sure that you click on this Lambda proxy integration so that your life becomes easy, right? So now here you need to choose a Lambda function. One second, we didn't create the Lambda function. Okay, so now we need to go to use an existing role, and we need to give this role that we have created. What is the name of the role that we have given just now? It is serverless API role emp, right? So this is the thing. So click here and let me check if we need, so anything is okay, everything looks fine, and we can just click on create function. So cool. Let me check if it is recording. Yeah, cool. So this is the Lambda function, and I think we can now go back to Lambda function, and let me check. So let me refresh the page. I think we have not done anything much here, so let me refresh the page. So let me go to the post method. Okay, so use lambda proxy integration. So I think we'll be able to see this is a lambda function that we have created, and yeah, like post. Okay, create method. So now one of the method is created under addemp. So this looks cool, and the URL will be like /employee/addemp, right? So good, right? Now under this employee only we will create something called as get all emp. So what you need to do is you need to click on this. You need to create a new resource because you are changing the URL itself, right? So you need to say get emps, get employees, make sure that cross origin resource sharing is enabled, and click on create resource. Now under employees you will have something called as get emps. So when I invoke this get emps URL, a lambda function has to be triggered. So we'll make all those changes like no for now. And as I said, like it is just a URL. So we need to create what we need, which method to be invoked when we like invoke this URL, right? So first of all, go here and click on create method, and select method as get, because we need to get all the employees, right? So again, click on lambda proxy integration, choose the same lambda function that we have created, and click on create method. So I think most of the things with API gateway is done. So let me get back to architecture one. So we have created a lambda function, we have created an IAM role, we have attached this IAM role to the AWS Lambda, we have created the Dynamo DB table, we have created the API gateway as well, but we didn't write the code that needs to be performed when you invoke the URL, right? So let me get back to that. Let me go to this lambda function. Yeah, this is the lambda function. So yeah, basically here comes your business logic. So for now, let me explain you the code. Okay, so this is the code like you need to use. So 1 second, wait. Okay, index.js, cool. So this is basically written in Node.js, and you obviously you can write in any other language, but it depends on you. But I'm preferring Node.js over here, like JavaScript. So this is the code for getting the employee and saving the employee in the Dynamo DB table. So I'll provide the link to this code in the description. Like I'll put all this into a GitHub, and we'll just share that GitHub repository link. So that looks fine for me. So before that, let me explain you this code. So this code, okay. So we are just we need to write this like this is a compulsory thing that we have to write in this when we want to execute this thing. So first of all, we'll get an event. So remember we talked something about lambda proxy integration, so we need to get that event. In that event we have all the necessary information, that is which method it is, which method it is, what else we have, what is the path. If you are creating, suppose if you are getting, for now we are not doing something like get emp by id, like we'll give path params, right? That is not something we are doing now, but you can do it. For that again you need event object. In that event you will have something called as path param. So you need to take that path param and you need to give it for the search results with that id. So Dynamo DB will find by id and it will return you the response, right? So that is something you can try, but for now I'm just giving a basic demonstration where you will just post the data into the Dynamo DB table and you will just get all the data that is there in the Dynamo DB table. So obviously this is not something very like rocket science or something. You can just go to Google and you type something like basic code for inserting and removing everything into Dynamo DB table. You will get all these things, but then you need to understand some of the things and you need to change according to your, suppose if he is given like save product, you need to change it as save employee, right? So minor changes will be there, so that should be done. Okay, So this is something you need to get using AWS SDK. Sorry, you need to configure in which like where you have created. Again, all this architecture has to be created in the same region. So all this has to be created in the same region. Suppose you create a Lambda function in US East 1, you have to create API gateway in US East 1 and also Dynamo DB. So here you are, the second step is to configure the things in which region you are creating, and this is the Dynamo DB. You have to write this because to get that access to Dynamo DB. Suppose you want to save it, like basically you need to have that so that you can access with Dynamo DB. And how can you access that is through writing this line, right? So now you have like it's like a like you have got some of the methods to store it into the Dynamo DB. Okay, so this is the Dynamo DB table name, and why are we writing here? Because we are gonna use it a lot more time, so it is better we declare all the things that are required at like many time like the things that we use more, it's better to declare here, right? So that is the same thing that we have done, and this is the thing that we need to return, and this contains an event object, and from that event we will check like event.http method is get event.http. We'll write a switch case, and whenever it is a get method, and we also check just suppose let's say we have many get methods, then we'll go and we'll check the path. Suppose let's say we have let me open this API gateway. Suppose let's say we have another something called as slash products, right? So we have like we also have a method called as get product. Even like that is a get method, right? We have something under the products, we have something called as get products, right? And even that is a get. Suppose even that is a get method, right? Suppose when you say slash get, right? When you say slash get, even this is a get method, I mean that is a get method, right? So you need to configure the path as well. So when you say event.path is equal to product path, when you say event.path is equal to employees path, it will get sorted. I hope you understand what is the meaning of this. So basically we didn't create anything const health path and all this stuff, so we don't need to, but in case if you want to, you can. So it was just additional line to show that even if you have multiple products, like multiple resources, you can configure it like that. Okay, so basically we have two methods now. So we have a get method and a post method. So if we like if the method is like if the invoked URL is get, you need to call get employees. And the reason why we are writing await, since you know that getting an employee from the Dynamo DB is an asynchronous operation, and we also know that time tied in JavaScript waits for none. So this is a asynchronous operation, so we are awaiting that. I think most of you might know if you are working in JavaScript for some time. So event.http method is post. Again, this is also an await operation because it has to save the product into DynamoDB, and we don't know how much time does it take to save it into the DynamoDB. So it again takes some time, so we'll put it an await operation. So when we again, this is scan DynamoDB record, we don't know how much time it takes, so we put await. So when we put await, we need to make the function as async, and that is something very obvious. And we need to this is a build response. So this is nothing but we are gonna use build response many a time. So we have created something. It takes two parameters, status code and body, and status code will be status code, and headers we just add this, and body will stringify, and we'll send the body basically what we need to send when we click on the post method. So that the details of all that thing will be in the body. So we'll just do that, right? So we'll stringify and we'll send the body. When we click on post, we'll see the result what is there in that body, right? So this is a build response, and this is save again I told this is save employee. So this is the code that I have bought, so there's nothing wrong, and even we have to, right? This is save employee, and so let me do here a save employee, right? So save employee, right? So json.pass and event.body. Okay, cool. I think everything looks fine, and so we have to give a params in the get. All employees we have to give this params, and yeah, after this body will be set to the like all the things that are being found, and we'll just build response and we'll give that body to the build response. Here we'll scan the Dynamo like this is a very like this is the thing that I have bought from the Google, and even you have to do that because these functions are like predefined, and you have to bring them, and there is no way, right? So we can, I am doing like customer error handling. I'm just logging it. You can do anything you want, right? So this particular part is will be, if you are giving CloudWatch access agent, then you will be able to see all the like logs in that CloudWatch, and if any error is found, you will be able to rectify it like very easily, right? So save employee and all this stuff. So like save employee, like it takes table name, put params, and this is something like again you have to bring it from Google. So and I'm giving all this code in the GitHub, so you need not search for it. Suppose you want to do any additional like update, patch or something, you need to search for it, but it's quite obvious and very easy. So yeah, this is up to the program, and we just copy this, and we'll just go to this. Where is my lambda function? So this is the lambda function. Let me go to control C, control V, and I think we just need to deploy. So cool, let me check once again. Okay, deploy. So let me check what is the thing that I have created. What is my primary key? Let me go to okay, all attributes. Okay, cool. I think I've given emp id, right, as my primary key. Okay, cool. So that I've given emp id as my primary key, so that should be like again compulsory thing that if you want to really work with it. So I think again we'll get back to our architecture. So we have completed this API gateway, we have completed this Lambda function, we have attached this role, we have also created the Dynamo DB. So it's time now we check whether the Lambda function that we have written, the API gateway we have configured, everything is working really fine or not. So let me open my post method, and so let me go to API gateway. This is a function that we have deployed. Now we can just deploy this API. We'll select a new stage. We'll give a stage name as dev for now. I'll not go with any description. Let's click on deploy. Oh, I think created. So let me check with get emps. Let me go to this get, and we will find an invoke URL. Just let me go to this, and let me go to this and click on send. Employees is null because we don't have anything in employees, so it is showing a null option. And when I send a post request, let me send a post request over here. So let me go to post again, and let me invoke take this URL, and let me click on like this thing. Go to body because we have to give many things. So we will give emp id, we'll give a name, and emp id is 1, emp name is let me give my name Manish. Okay, this looks cool, and let me send to request. Okay, again it is showing an internal server error. I don't understand why. Might be problem is with our Dynamo DB table. Okay, let me check. Okay, let me go to employee tables. Employee table is thing. Okay, acha. Okay, see, the value over here should not be 1, it should be this thing, because our partition key is emp id of type string but not of id, right? So it is giving an internal error, I think, like because of that probably. Let's see. Oh, still not that. Okay, so what is the error? emp id looks cool for me. name Manish is fine, value is fine, but what is error? So now our CloudWatch will help us. So let me go to let me put let me go to duplicate tabs and let me go to CloudWatch. Okay. So here you will find something called as log groups. Click on log groups. Sorry. And we need to go to this thing. And yeah, here you can see an event is there. So it has happened. Let me check. Okay. Unexpected token E at position 0. I think there is some problem with our actually should work actually, but what is the problem? Error type, that is the problem actually. Syntax error. Syntax error. Why is it a syntax error? Okay, we will try in a so let me go to like a raw and let me go to JSON and let me check if it works like this. We don't find any error over here. Employee is, because again it has to be string. So emp name must be emp name or name, just can be name, and it doesn't really matter because Dynamo DB is unstructured data. So let me, okay, this looks cool. JSON. Okay, let me send a request. So this is cool, right? So we have successfully inserted. Suppose let's say if I take this and if I do this, suppose let's say I don't know like what is the problem. I think we have to kind of send in a JSON format. So that might be the issue. And here, see, if you are sending a normal one, it is not getting accepted. See, if you send with 2, see, if I'm sending here 2, even if you go to your CloudWatch logs and if you refresh and if you see like when you CloudWatch, let me go to CloudWatch, let's see what is the error that is being given. So here we have many records, but this is not the thing that we are searching for it. So let me go to again CRUD emp. Okay, then okay, let me refresh. Okay. See, do your custom error handling here. I am just gonna log it. This is the thing that we have written, and we have added a event error to it, right? So this is giving validation exception. One or more parameters were invalid. Type mismatch for key em employee ID string s actual but given n. So if you like give CloudWatch full access, it will just write what are the errors that are there when executing the program. So I think that is clear, and we are able to insert into the Dynamo DB as well. Suppose let's say again we'll try with some other data, we'll give 3 and we'll give Srikar. So send, yes, it got inserted, right? So let me go to Dynamo DB and verify whether it has inserted or we are just seeing something JSON over here. So explore table items, and cool, we have got this, right? So this looks cool, amazing. So I think the architecture was done like until here, and for even like this architecture is completely done, but we are using Postman as a client, but we want something like we need an input field, we need to take details from a website and we just need to store it to them. When somebody asks for details, we need to show them. So how to do it? So for that, again, I have this index.html file that I've created. So this is just a normal thing. It contains 2 input labels. Basically it takes employee ID, employee name, and when we click on it has basically two buttons. One is submit, so we have given our details, and when we submit it stores the data, and we also have an option called get all employees. So when we click on get employees, it actually gets the data and it fills the data in this. I have created a container, so container to display email details. So I have created, so this will store the details. After fetching it will store it here, right? So that is the thing. And for even this thing I'll share you. So I'll also put this in the GitHub so you can access it from there. So here you will take 2 things, that is EMP-ID and name, and these are the things. Make sure that this employee ID is same, so it is case sensitive actually. So when whatever the thing you give as primary key in EMP-ID should be the same, right? So these 2 things must be same. These things can be different because you are just taking it input from that client side and you are giving it to the EMP-ID. Make sure that these 2 names like match with your Dynamo DB so that there will be no errors. And EMP-ID and name, so you will just fetch, like when you will call, suppose let's say when you click on submit form, it will make a fetch call. So this is a submit form function. It will make a fetch call with post method, and it will just send the body, like it will stringify the body using this thing, and it will send to the our Dynamo DB. Like it will basically hit the API gateway. When you hit the API gateway, Lambda function will be executed, and that function will take these 2 things as a parameter and it will be stored in the Dynamo DB, right? Suppose again get all employees is similar, and after getting the details it will like do this thing, right? So this looks cool, guys, this looks cool. And so let me create an S3 bucket and let's just deploy it. Let me go to S3. So click on S3. Okay, so let me create a bucket over here. Let me name the bucket as serverless web app and ACS enabled. If you don't know like what is ACS enabled, how to do a static web hosting, all these things, and you also don't know about block all public, what is all these things, so you can just refer to the video where I explained static web hosting. There we discussed about ACLs and all those things. So for now we'll not discuss all about those things. So we'll just create bucket. I think there is a serverless web app Lambda. We'll just give this. Let's see if it, I think it should be there. Yeah, it is there, right? So click on this and click on upload, click on add files. I think it is an AWS code. So this is the HTML file, so we'll just deploy it and click on. So in the permissions, grant public read access, no problem. Even if you do here, you can actually go to the ACS enabled thing and you can make the ACS enabled. So if you are not understanding all these things, you might it is high time you check my static website hosting in S3. So I think now it's cool. Now let me open this and let me take the object URL and let me go to this. Okay, so this looks cool, and let me also open the inspect tab, and let me go to the console. So let me give, okay, so we already have employees, right? So we'll make a get request. Let's see if it has. Acha, okay guys, okay, so we have done a simple mistake over here. So go to S3. Obviously you need not do it, because see, actually I've done a big mistake. So let me go to my VS Code. This is actually this is a post request, right? Add emp, and this is where we, yeah, this is a get request, right? Okay, okay, cool. Okay, okay, so let me go to my API gateway. 2 minutes, guys. API gateway, where is API gateway? API bhai. Okay, API gateway is here, right? So you need to take this post URL, and you need to go to here, and you need to update this, because this is the previous one. So sorry for that, I didn't update this thing. So get him and go to get over here, and take this URL as well, and yeah, okay, I think this looks cool. We don't have anything to change here. Okay, so now again let's go to S3. Where is my S3? Okay, S3 is here. Go to buckets, open this bucket, and just delete this bucket. You can just delete, permanently delete. Okay, delete objects. Again go to this buckets, serverless, upload, add file, index.html, permissions, grant public access, I acknowledge, upload, and click on this. Okay, let me open this and get my object URL, and click on this, and yeah, so I think now it should work. We should pray for God now. So I think get all employees. Let me click on this. Oh shit, man, again we got an error. Okay, but this is something which I predicted, right? So access to fetch at from origin has been blocked by CORS policy. So this is the error that I was telling you, right? So no access, opaque response. Yeah, this is the thing that we're expecting. So to like, basically it is a CORS denied access. So we need to make sure that CORS is enabled at every stage. So for now we will use it, CORS bypass extension. So we'll go to control, will I basically have it in another profile. Let me open it in another profile, and let me copy this. And if you see, this is the extension actually. So this is a CORS extension. I'll share the link of this extension as well in the description box. You can download it from here. So by default it will be off. Click on here, and it will get accepted, like it will turn on. So now you need to go to console, click here. Okay, so I think it is cool now. Okay, now get all employees. Let's see. Yeah, we have got employees, right? So we have got employee ID as 1, employee name as Manish. So these are the things that are already present, right? So now I'll make a post request by giving 9 and employee name as Balaji. So Balaji, and submit. Now this is done, and let me get all employees. Cool, right? How cool, like we have successfully done. This is our first project. So yeah, it's like we have done a great job. So I already told you, because this is because cars is blocking, so you need to use an extension, so that will clear all the problems. So if you want to like really bypass, like if you don't want to see this error, but this is done actually for our safety. So basically you need to read this documentation, like what is there here. So here they have given to click on options, but we have put everything, we have checked everything over here, so that might be the issue. So check it out, like what is the error, and try to solve this error. And yeah, that should be done. For now we have done with extension, so it will bypass the course for now. But that is a good practice that we need to maintain, because we should not allow everybody to make an API call, right? So that, like, yeah. So even if you make a call to Swiggy API, it will give you a course error, so you have to bypass it, right? So I think that's cool. So if you are really interested, I'll also share this documentation. You better you go over here, you try it with course disabled, and then you will realize like how to do these things. So I hope you understood the video, and you learned something new and cool. So that's it for now. Bye bye, we'll meet you in the next video. Cool.